In early 2016, I was ending my enlistment with the United States Marine Corps. One of the things that I most looked forward to upon getting out of the Marine Corps was to have my own dog. Growing up, my family and I had always had pets. We had several dogs, a couple cats along the way, and that was probably the most enjoyable and memorable part of my childhood. As I had grown up, however, my pets had, unfortunately, like all animals, passed away. In 2017, I finally lived in a place that I was able to have pets. So I went to the local humane society and I found my first dog. His name is Romulus. He's a husky shepherd mix. He's the most wild and crazy dog, but I love him and I'm so happy that I found him. Since then, I've gotten married and my dog family has grown from 1 to 4. I have 3 small dogs and 1 large dog now. But this wouldn't have been possible without the Humane Society. You see, according to the ASPCA, in the United States there are over 13,600 shelters, none of which are connected nationally. All of these shelters are independently ran by their community and for their community. And that means that we, as a people and as a community surrounding these shelters, we must donate and help push these shelters to allow them to keep animals off the streets and provide loving families for them. And that requires sacrifice. That requires sacrifice of whatever we can give, whether it be food, whether it be money, whether it be our time. We need to find a way to help these organizations. As I said before, I myself am the product of being a pet owner through a shelter. The dog that I found, Romulus, he was about 6 months old at the time. And the only backstory I had from him is he was found in Neosho. He was a stray just walking the street and they brought him in. And I don't know what his past was. I hope that it was happy and healthy. But most often, for a lot of these animals, it's not. Keeping these animals off the streets is something that we must do. It not only makes sense in just helping our community, but as a society, we can't allow this. According to One Green Planet, there are over 70 million stray animals in the United States. And according to the ASPCA, about 6.5 million per year are brought into a shelter. Some statistics saying up to 8 million per year. These loads of animals are huge and they're vast. If you go on and you read the first visual aid that's provided, there are several statistics about dogs and their adoption rates, their euthanasia rates, the amount that they're coming into shelters. According to that chart, and as well as according to the Humane Society for Shelter Pets, only 10 to 20% of all animals brought into these shelters are adopted. This is a small number. But we can help that by providing these shelters with the ability to continue care for these animals. They can't do it without us. And not only is this something that we must do as a society, but we have to do it to help ourselves. If we did not have the Humane Society and all these shelters in place, our communities would have wild animals running around all over the place. That would provide unsafe conditions for our children, provide unsafe driving and road conditions. So it is vastly important that we come together and we can donate and we can provide not just our time, but especially food, finances, and something to allow these animals to be in these shelters long enough to find families. Success is our job. These shelters and these societies cannot achieve anything without us. So, to reiterate, we must come together. This is not just something that you should care about if you're a pet owner. This is something you should care about as a human being. And the amount of shelter increases is not just a coincidence when it comes to the healthiness and the happy lives of these animals. In my second visual aid, there's a chart that shows the decrease of euthanasia rates, where it started at nearly 70%, and it has drastically gone down since then. And that is because we, as communities and as people, have seen this as so vitally important that we spend our time, we spend our hard-earned money to provide for these animals. So now I'm calling on you. You must contribute the time. We need to contribute the time, not just you, not just me, all of us. Because if we don't, it's going to be a sad world to live in.